Do you think this season is the make or break season for Mikel Arteta?
So there's no reason Arsenal have this season not to win. And when I say not to win a trophy, I'm not talking about the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. No, because he has won the FA Cup. Yeah. So it's not about those competitions. It's about the Premier League and the Champions League. There's no team in the Premier League right now that doesn't play Arsenal with fear and trepidation. Even if you have 5 players injured, this is the first season that Arsenal can look at their bench and say,
stack loaded.
Okay, I've got a replacement for you. Come on.
Should you predict 2025-2026 Premier League? Who do you think will win come May 2026?
I've never really seen Virgil van Dijk as a strong... I mean, people rank him as one of the finest defenders in the Premier League, and I laugh, and I'm wondering, like, really?
Even compare him with Vidic.
Really?
Terry.
No, please. He's a good defender, but that's what he is. He's not a great defender. We've seen great defenders in the Premier League, and he doesn't rank as one of them. I dare anybody to tell me that Haaland is as good as Thierry Henry. If you think he's as good as Henry, then yeah, you obviously have a problem. You know. So for me, he's not a world-class player. He's a potent goal scorer, but he's not a world-class player.
Do you think VAR has helped the game, or you think it has even damaged the game? The transfer market madness. Liverpool, for example, they spent over 400 million to sign Isak, Ekitike, and so did other clubs. Do you think players are being signed for their value? Or you think, thanks to inflation, players are now expensive, clubs are now desperate, managers are now desperate? And if you think the football market is not overhyped, what measures do you think football management can take to address the issue? Welcome to another amazing episode of the Honourable Football Diaries, the football podcast where banter meets bold takes and no position is offside. Are you a fan of the entertaining tiki-taka? Do you support the conservative counter-attack, or you support the pragmatic park-the-ball style of play? Whether you support the English Premier League, the La Liga, French Ligue 1, Italian Serie A, Bundesliga, above all, the Nigerian Professional Football League, we've got you covered on Honourable Football Diaries. My name is Honourable Template, and I'm your host for this podcast. My guest on today's episode is a veteran sport journalist. For those of us who are very familiar with the football program Monday Night Football on SuperSport, we'll be very familiar with his face. He's the co-founder of 08 Production. He's a TV presenter and also a radio anchor. I'm talking about no other person than Mr. Charles Anazodo. Oga Charles, I welcome you specially to Honourable Football Diaries. It's a huge honor and privilege to have a veteran on my podcast, and thank you for accepting at the shortest notice.
Nice to be here. But being described as a veteran, well, that's a different conversation. But it's nice to be here.
Thank you very much. So let's just get straight into the discussions. My first conversation will be on Arsenal Football Club. They've invested heavily this season.
Yeah, so have Chelsea. So has Liverpool.
You know, last season Arsenal fans complained. Even Mikel Arteta complained that the board, following those number of injuries, that the board haven't invested. We Arsenal fans, because I'm an Arsenal fan, we felt no. So this season Arsenal have signed, in my own perspective anyways, they fixed all those loopholes. Eberechi Eze, Noni Madueke, and co. Yeah. Do you think this season is the make or break season for Mikel Arteta?
It's got to be. I mean, every football club needs a spine. And when I say a spine, I'm talking about you've got to have a good goalkeeper. You've got to have a very good defensive midfielder, and you've got to have a very good striker. I mean, that's what the Premier League demands of you. Raya is the finest goalkeeper in the Premier League, if not the best in the Premier League. Donnarumma is here now, so there will be a lot of competition in that area. But Raya is brilliant, you know. Centre back, Gabriel Saliba. They don't concede goals for fun.
And he has also signed 2 new additions.
You know, so defensively, they have it tight. In the midfield, Declan Rice, Zubimendi, you know, it's locked. And then you have Gyökeres, the topmost goal scorer in European football last season. Nothing can be compared. Then you've got the creativity of Saka and Eberichi Eze. You've got Martinelli in there when he does play, comes in from the bench, super sub. So there's talent everywhere. There's talent everywhere. There's no team in the Premier League right now that doesn't play Arsenal with fear and trepidation. Yeah? So they've got everything lock, stock, and barrel.
Yeah.
Arsenal. So there's no reason Arsenal have this season not to win. And when I say not to win a trophy, I'm not talking
Carabao
about
Cup
the Carabao Cup
is it that
or the
Premier
FA
League?
Cup. No, because he has won the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So it's not about those competitions. It's about the Premier League and the Champions League. The Champions League might be a bit difficult, because you have teams, the best of them, coming from different
part of Europe.
So that might be a bit difficult. But as far as the Premier League is concerned, there's no excuse.
For Mikel Arteta this season.
There's no excuse that Arsenal have not to win this. Even if you have 5 players injured, this is the first season that Arsenal can look at their bench and say,
stack loaded.
okay, I've got a replacement for you. Come on. So there's no reason. There's no reason at all.
Hope you are enjoying the discussion. You have not liked, you have not subscribed, you have not dropped your comment. Remember, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's continue the show. Should you predict 2025-2026 Premier League? Who do you think will win? Come May 2026.
I think Arsenal should win it.
That's a strong one.
I said it from day one. A lot of Arsenal fans, thought I was mocking them.
You're not looking at Liverpool being the defending champion.
No, I don't think. We just saw what happened of recent. Back-to-back losses.
Crystal Palace, Galatasaray.
And then Galatasaray as well. I really don't think they have it all to do defensively. I've never really seen Virgil van Dijk as a strong... people rank him as one of the finest defenders in the Premier League. And I laugh. And I'm wondering, really?
Even compare him with Vidic.
Really?
Terry.
No, please. He's a good defender, but that's what he is. He's not a great defender. We've seen great defenders in the Premier League, and he doesn't rank as one of them. So defensively, Liverpool do have their problems. I think they won last season because quite a number of the teams in the Premier League
didn't turn up.
Just didn't.
You're not tipping City to bounce back.
No. City. No, City have lost too many good players and haven't been able to adequately replace them. The likes of Mamouche, Tijani Reinders. Tijani is not a Kevin De Bruyne, can never be.
And
Savinho hasn't replaced Mahrez. Doku's doing well, but he's off and on.
He's not consistent.
Haaland, getting on the goal scorers chart already. This is his best season in terms of goal scoring so far. But there's just something missing in Haaland. I never really I was watching a video where, I can't remember his name now. He used to play for Atletico Madrid and Chelsea at the time, a Dutch striker. And he was asked about world-class players, and Haaland was one of those mentioned. And he said, no, Haaland is not a world-class player. And I agree.
Wow.
I agree.
Wow. That's a strong goal.
It's not about just banging in the goals. There's a lot it's
being a team player.
that defines I think we've become too lackadaisical when we talk about world class. Once you just score 5-10 goals in the season, and a world class player be that. No, there's a lot that goes into being. When you mention a world class player, Thierry Henry, that's a world class player. Zidane, those are world class players, and you cannot. I dare anybody to tell me that Haaland is as good as Thierry Henry.
Wow.
If you think he's as good as Henry, then you obviously have a problem. So for me, he's not a world-class player. He's a potent goal scorer, but he's not a world-class player.
So you think Arsenal will win the league? Ahead of Liverpool, Manchester City, even
Chelsea. I'm not a Babalawo.
That's what I'm saying. You should predict.
I'm just saying that Arsenal should,
not
by
win.
virtue of what they have, they have the best team in the Premier League as we speak. They should win the title. If they do not, then sack Arteta.
My next question to you will be the dilemma of video assistant referee. Do you think VAR has helped the game? Or you think it has even damaged the game more?
VAR has done a lot to upgrade the game of football. There's so many decisions that the referees, with their ordinary eye, have missed in time past that really have become a source of controversy till tomorrow. I mean, there's nothing perfect in this world. There's nothing perfect because it's still the human beings that use the VAR, but it's just now a lot better. It cuts the mistakes made in football by 80%, and
but some are still arguing that it has not really helped.
Look at the last World Cup. There were no controversies at the last World Cup.
But if you look at Premier League,
the only place where you find people contesting decisions of VAR is in the Premier League.
And why is that?
Do you hear of it in La Liga, Syria, or
not even
else?
Our recently concluded AFCON.
You don't see that. But it's because people's eyes are focused on the Premier League. Every little decision. And why they even take so long in deciding sometimes bothers me and just adds and fuels the controversy. But when you look at it, and I don't want to judge VAR by just the Premier League, yeah? You look at it holistically.
Yeah.
Continental competitions as well. Look at the last Club World Cup.
Almost no issue.
No issues. So when you look at it holistically, I think that VAR really has plugged all of the loopholes, reduced the number of controversies we've had in the game, and helped the referees make the right decisions. VAR is the future.
Premier League is arguably the most watched league in the world.
Yeah, that's what they say.
You don't agree?
That's what they say. Go and tell that to the Spanish people. They're not going to trust you. They're not going to believe that. But when you look at it holistically, I think VAR really has done a lot of good and will continue to do a lot of good in football.
Hope you are enjoying the discussion. You have not liked, you have not subscribed, you have not dropped your comment. Remember, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's continue the show. In conclusion, the transfer market madness. Liverpool, for example, they spent over 400 million to sign Isak, Ekitike, and so did other clubs. Do you think players are being signed for their value? Or you think, thanks to inflation, players are now expensive, clubs are now desperate, managers are now desperate? And if you think the football market is not overhyped, what measures do you think football management can take to address the issue? Because you can't have clubs signing over 400 million.
I think there's only one.
And so did Arsenal. Sorry to cut you. Arsenal spent over 200 million, thereabout.
I think there's only one solution to this, and I think it's with the leagues around the world placing a cap.
Just like La Liga.
Placing a cap. You can't sign a player for more than this. I think the players are overvalued. Not because they bring
any value.
No, there's some bring value, excitement to the game.
Look at Neymar that was signed for over 200 million.
But when you look at players in the past and look at players today, yeah,
the difference is clear.
If you were going to sign a Zidane today, you'd be paying upwards of maybe 300 million, Maybe it's the way the world has gone, because everything around the world these days is expensive.
That's what I said, inflation.
It's expensive. But the valuation of a player based on his ability should have a ceiling, to be honest. Like I said before, a player scores 10 goals in the league and he's seen as the next Lionel Messi. No, it doesn't happen like that. You've got to prove it over and over again. And then when you mention certain clubs, if a Brighton is going to sell a player to Real Madrid because they see Real Madrid as one of the richest clubs in the world, if a player's true value is 20 million, you jack it up to 80, 4 times the amount, because it's Real Madrid, because it's Manchester City, because it's Manchester United. Clubs need to let people know that we have a cap. We're never going to go beyond this, which is also another reason I applaud Arsenal Football Club, and it's a trend that started with Arsene Wenger. We can't pay more than this for this player, no matter what you think he does. And football clubs also need to stop the idea of buying players. Whatever happened to churning out players from the academy? So are we now saying that the academies are not doing their jobs? I was watching the UEFA Champions League, and before the main games, there's a UEFA Youth League.
Okay, yeah.
And I sat back and I thought, especially this goes also for African football, why we don't have such a thing with African football, because that's the way to grow the youngsters. And I was thinking to myself, this is where clubs should be looking at. How do we harness the ability of these young boys and help them transform into becoming world superstars? But because these days people don't have any patience, once a manager is signed, look at Benfica signing Jose Mourinho. Because Bruno Lage lost one game, which he shouldn't have lost anyway.
Same Benfica that defeated Jose Mourinho at
exactly.
Champions League playoff.
So you start to wonder, why did you bring Jose Mourinho? Because you're looking for a high-profile manager. You're going to pay him a lot more than you paid Bruno Lage in the first place. But signing Jose Mourinho does not in any way guarantee you anything.
Success.
He lost to Chelsea. Yeah. So I think caps need to be placed, and we need to go back to the idea of having patience and allowing the youth to grow and becoming the football stars that we expect them to, not just in football, but in every other sport as well. In Nigerian football, the major problem that we have now is that because we want to win, we're just fixated on if there's a Tunde or Chukwueze who's playing football in Norway and he has scored one goal, bring him. We should give the national team to people who are deserving of it by virtue of their exploits. And those exploits need to be tested. It needs to be consistent. Yeah? And not just because he plays for a big club and even doesn't play regularly for that big club. We have so many players in the national team who don't start in their teams in Europe, but they're here in national team and they're flexing muscle. Chukwueze, for one, doesn't start at Inter Milan. I think he's a very good player.
I think he has gone to Fulham now.
Doesn't start at AC Milan. He's gone to Fulham now, and he's still not starting at Fulham. But he's one of the first to be invited to the national team. I think he's a player with potential.
Yeah. He's
shown it in the national team. But you have to be consistent. If you're not consistent, don't invite them. Don't invite them. And don't invite people to the national team who play in lower leagues around the world.
Yeah, there has to be some standard.
We like to emulate. We say we are as good as the English, the Italians, the Brazilians. But when you go to the Brazilian national team or any of those national teams, they will never invite a player who doesn't play in the elite league. Never. They never will. But here we have players who play in the championship, who play in Saudi Arabia. I mean, no disrespect. But, I don't know. I'm not the coach.
Thank you very much for coming to Honourable Football Diaries. I really appreciate having you, like I said, a veteran on my baby podcast. Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate it.
Nice to be here, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. To my esteemed viewers, thank you for watching another amazing episode of the Honourable Football Diaries, the football podcast where banter meets bold takes and no position is offside. Remember, we are on all social media platforms. We are on TikTok, we are on X, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on YouTube. And that's why we want you to subscribe and follow us across all our platforms. Until this time next week, see you and God bless you all.